Well, we're getting ready to say goodbye to another fabulous day up here at the Wynema Ranch. This is Alladay LLC, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty awesome sunset. It's feeding time for them guys out there. There's a couple playing around having a good time. You can see, but like I said, we're getting ready to say goodbye to another day. These guys over here, they need to get fed too. We're waiting on a couple tons of hay to come feed them. And we're going to record this morning's radio segment on AM News, and you're going to hear me feed these guys. Who knows? Maybe they'll get here before my segment's over. Maybe they won't. Right now, we have Ken Roberts, and talking about some of the events going on in the stock market this morning, and his contact information. You guys need tax or investment advice. Ken Roberts. He's a guy you want to talk to. Here he is, and then I'm going to come up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you when we're done.
Sure, you can find him on Market Watch. You Google Ken Roberts. Market Watch will take you to my retirement planning columns. I write for thestreet.com. You go to thestreet.com, put my name in the search window, and also the Sierra Sun newspaper. My articles come out in the print edition on Wednesdays. If you go over to sierrasun.com, you can find them in the business section.
Nice. And last but not least, Ken, how do we contact you to have you take a look at our retirement investments?
You can call me at 775-825-4555.
Nice. Well, hopefully in the next hour, the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have a recap of what Janet Yellen said and go to our final stock market report this week on AM News.
Thanks, Dennis.
All righty. Thank you, Ken. It's Ken Roberts over at Fat Tail Trading. Let him take a look at your investment portfolio. Make sure you're making the best bang for your buck. Let's go from Wall Street to the land of the primordial ooze, where people are now standing erect. They're coming out of their shelters. They're coming out of the caves and recognize a whole exciting world out there. The home of the longest continuous burning tire fire in the continental United States, where sunrises and sunsets are purples, greens, and ivory. Silver Springs, Nevada. The segment is brought to you by Monsanto, where you can experience better living through chemistry. We have Aaron. Hey, Aaron, what's up?
Hey, the big question as the people start coming out of the caves is Vegas in the future. The Oakland Raiders have applied for trademark and patent office for Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
So a little indication of maybe talks are a little more serious than people are thinking there. That'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't, I would consider going to Vegas for the Raiders. But I see the Dodgers kind of snuck out of Chavez Ravine, salvaging yesterday with only a two games back. I was like, man, if the Dodgers win, they go up 4 games. That's going to be huge going up to the Bay. So.
Well, they won 2 out of 3. I mean, that's they won the series.
Yeah.
And if you think about that, the second game they pitched a rookie, never pitched in the majors, won that game. Yesterday they put Stippling in. They called him up on Thursday from the minor leagues, and he's been up and down all year. But they called him up to pitch against the Giants, and he did a good job. So. Yeah, they're going to have some rested arms. A lot of their starters are coming in off rehab and stuff, and except for Maeda, I think every other starter they've had has been on rehab or on the DL. So they're going to be in pretty good shape. I think they'll have some rested arms, and that may be the problem with the Giants. They've had Baumgartner and Cueto and Samardzija, and they've got so many innings on those arms. I think come September, when you start feeling the season, that may be a problem for the Giants. But again, I'm a Giants fan once a year. I go down there, I orange up, and
that's why you play 162.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt about it.
That's baseball is a marathon. Boy, I tell you what, though, man, it's no better way to pass summer than with baseball.
It's a good
food. Everybody's talking food this morning. I'll talk a little bit about food. I understand the argument. Let's feed, and it's a very noble thing. Feed the hungry people, and I also understand the argument. But we're going to feed them. Let's give them something healthy. there's two sides on that coin, kind of, sort of. My whole, I don't know, fear of the GMO. I wouldn't say it's fear of the GMO because I'm not afraid of that technology. I understand. I kind of understand the technology, and I just think it is being used improperly. There's no testing. Everybody wants to say, well, if you're going to say this, where's your peer review? And that's how Monsanto has defended and attacked everybody. Well, let's go back and back this whole Jeep up. Michael Taylor gave us this substantially equivalent argument back in 1992. Where was his peer review? Where was all the information on that was peer reviewed? I'll ask that question since nobody has asked it in 30 years, 20 years, whatever it's been, 25 years now. Where was the peer review on that information that gave us the substantially equivalent that makes the Twinkie as good as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, for example? Where is that information that came out of Michael Taylor that sold this bill of goods to the government, if you will, to the American people, the world population at large? I just think without study, and I'm not saying let's never use it. I mean, you've already said, you know what, hey, grow all the corn you want, make ethanol with it. That's not a bad thought.
Well, sure, there's chemicals that are used for industrial use that aren't food grade. I mean, and they have their place and they have their time. I don't have a problem, with growing that corn and using it for ethanol. Maybe that's where it should be. Maybe that's where it should be used, and not in the other realm. But getting back to your Twinkie thing, there's nothing better than a Twinkie. And now that they're chocolate covered,
you know what? I haven't done the deep fried thing yet, but it's kind of a bucket list food item.
Well, don't do the chocolate.
I mean, I gotta admit it.
Don't do the chocolate one deep fried. You can do the regular one. The chocolate one you want to put in the freezer for about an hour, and it's delicious.
Hey, let me ask you something here, and everybody listening out there. This is something, and this is because I'm an agriculture guy. I'm a dirt guy. I'm one of them put my hands in the dirt kind of guys. What's the difference between industrial farming and unsustainable agriculture?
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
You know what? They're one and the same, and this is what political correctness has gotten us, and people like Hillary, Monsanto giving speeches. Don't call it GMO corn. Call it drought-resistant corn. We've become a society of political correctness. Why don't we call it what it is? Both of those terms, unsustainable agriculture and industrial farming, refer to chemical farming. And that's what it is. It's chemical farming. Call it what it is. And maybe the debate doesn't get crazy like it's gotten. Maybe our elected officials don't go to Washington and disrespect 90% of their constituents. I don't know, but maybe we need to start calling a spade again, and quit being politically correct when it comes to certain elements of our lives. I don't, there's some ugly terms out there when you get to talking people, and that's not where I'm going. When we're talking stuff like this food issue, let's quit trying to dress a duck up. It's still quacking. So, and it's screaming chemical farming is what the duck is screaming on this whole issue here. And I don't, and that's kind of, I guess if I have a position on this GMO issue, that's kind of my position right there. Let's not be afraid of it. There's nothing really to be afraid of. The science is very sound on this technology. But let's find ways to implement them. And when we start messing with the food supply and chemicals, aren't we kind of opening a Pandora's box that we don't know anything about because there's no testing being done? That's where I come from a lot. And so, a couple people sent questions in on some of my posts, and that is addressing that.
What if there was a study done? And what if there was a study done? And the results of the study were the GMO processed foods are as healthy and as nutritious and as good for you as non-GMO foods. Now, and I think I know what the answer is going to be, but would you believe it? I think the answer is no for you.
It would depend on who did the study.
Who did the study? Oh, so then you.
That makes a big difference in this industry. Again, National Academy of Sciences, they are analyzing Monsanto scientists' information.
Okay, what if they
validate Monsanto scientists?
What if they did it? What if they came out with the report and it said it's just as good, just as nutritious, just as healthy, and has no adverse effects?
If it was scientifically proven, and there is none of that. That's a difficult thing.
Now, you're saying there's not. I'm saying if there was.
If the science is there, if the testing is there, and if it's done in an orderly fashion and it's not slanted in any way, it's a neutral thing, then you take a leap of faith and you say, okay, let's deal with this. But that hasn't happened.
I didn't say it has happened. I said, what if it did happen and that National Academy of Science came out and said, you know what, Monsanto's right. This stuff is just as good for you, just as healthy for you.
Well, they have come out and said that, and that's one of the problems.
Well,
they have come out and said that.
Then you question
the issue.
You question the people doing the survey.
The National Academy of Science is analyzing information fed to them. They're not an Academy of Scientists or anything. They're not doing any testing. They're analyzing information given to them.
I'm saying if they do that. No, you're saying what they have done already. I'm saying if they do the study, they do the testing, and they come out and say this is just as good and just as healthy for you as any other food group or any other food product, would that be satisfactory? And you're saying no, because you'd question the testing or the testers or the data. Because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it can't be done.
Right? Nobody has ever said it can't be done. It is not being done.
Well,
that's what the debate is, kind of. It's not being done versus any study with Monsanto products is done under their supervision. And that's a big caveat in what with the information that gets released. If that element gets removed, I'm betting everybody says, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But that's not being allowed to happen. That's kind of...
But Aaron, remember, any other company with a proprietary component guards that component. Anything that's tested by any organization for any certification, that component is certified. Well, anyway, we need to move on. I've got another caller. I've got to get in before the top of the hour. But let's pick this up again Monday, man. This is a good discussion and an argument.
You know what? It becomes very convoluted, but it does bring a lot to the table. 775-230-9915 on the World Wide Web, folks. www.alladayllc.com. Gonna be a gorgeous weekend, folks. We got the sun shining already. Let's have a great time. Let's all be safe.
All right. And for the residents out there, remember the thing in the right hand with the 3 tines in it, that's not a pitchfork. That's called a fork, and you eat with it. Thanks, Aaron.
Bye-bye. All right, man.
All right, folks, there it is right there. And as you can see, we're surrounded. Hang on.